This video contains evolution spoilers for the entirety of Digimon Ghost Game. Angoramon and Jellymon's DiM cards have finally released. Mine are in the air as we speak. Cannot wait to load them onto the Digivice V, but today I want to talk about their entire evolution line on their DiM cards and break down why those evolutions are here and what the new names take inspiration from and what we might expect for the future of Digimon Ghost Game. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed, please do join us. You can unsubscribe at any point, and we are racing towards 25,000 subscribers. It would be amazing if we could get there in January. Thank you so much. And yes, the new evolutions for Angoramon and Jellymon. In this week's episode of Digimon Ghost Game, Jellymon Digivolved for the first time to Tesla Jellymon. But before we get to that, let's talk about Angoramon first, and what I'm going to do is break down all of the evolutions that are existing Digimon, and then take a look at the brand new ones. So for champions, Angoramon gets Leomon, Commandamon, and Porcupamon, which all makes sense, I suppose, being beast Digimon, though given Angoramon is a rabbit, I find it kind of funny he's been given so many lions, dogs, etc., when he has every right to dip into rabbit Digimon lines like Cressamon, for example. Then for ultimates, we have Grapleomon, Skullbalukimon, and Warumonzemon, which is quite a big skew towards kind of evilish Digimon, which is interesting. And finally for megas, he gets Anubismon, Saberleomon, and Griffamon, and again, no rabbits in sight. I kind of expected some Lopmon or Terriermon evos on here, but no, instead it skews very bestial, but not rabbit or Terriermon-like, which is kind of funny when you consider how heavily rabbit-centric Terriermon's DiM is. Angoramon and Terriermon almost feeling deliberately the opposite of each other in terms of evolution lines. Leomon feels like a reference, and I hope not a hint at Angoramon's fate in the future, to Jerry's Leomon in the D-Power 3.0, who could become Grapleomon, and of course the Adventure Leomon became Saberleomon, so that tracks. Commandamon and Skullbalukimon are likely references specifically to the previous season, Digimon Adventure 2020, as both featured in there, Commandamon having a much more significant role than Skullbalukimon, but both are still fresh in the memory of Adventure fans. Griffamon is likely referencing the Griffamon that fights the D-Reaper in Tamers, again having that Terriermon allegory, and Warumonzemon, Anubismon, and Porcupamon are likely intended to be a combined Digimon Pendulum version 20th and Cross Wars homage, as Porcupamon hasn't really had any anime appearances but does digivolve to Warumonzemon in the Pendulum version 20th, and then Warumonzemon and Anubismon both featured prominently in Cross Wars. But of course Warumonzemon and Anubismon are featured in a ton of stuff, so it's hard to say exactly which thing they're trying to reference here. As for Angoramon's intended champion and ultimate, we have Simbare Angoramon and Lamormon. As we could see in concept sketches, Angoramon is only chunky because of his floof, so his champion form slims down and gains sort of clock hand-like ears that may be usable as weapons and helicopter blades similar to Angoramon's ears in the past. And amazingly, we still don't have a definitive etymology for this guy's name, but I do have some ideas. I think it might be a combination of cymbal and ballet, or even jive and ballet, as its profile makes reference to it striving for beauty in its behavior in movements, and in battle it dodges the enemy's attacks as if it were dancing in lockstep with its own attacks. So I think it's definitely possible that Simbare is Simbale Angoramon, which would make a little bit of sense. It's definitely not a constellation or anything as far as I can work out, like the Gamamon line. I'm recording this episode the day after the Jellymon episode came out, but I am pretty confident that this coming weekend when this video releases will be the Simbare Angoramon evolution episode. It's a Ruli and Angoramon focus episode. The Angoramon and Jellymon DiM cards have just come out. I think it makes a lot of sense that that is what's happening this weekend, so we'll see if that comes true, but regardless, I don't think we're going to get the full answer. Lamormon is a lot less subtle. It comes from the French l'amour, meaning the death, but also l'amour spelt like this and pronounced presumably differently, my French is awful, means the love or the loved one in French. So it maybe is intended to be a kind of double meaning, and I think for a lot of these Digimon in Digimon Ghost Game there is supposed to be more than one meaning to their name. It's not something as simple as like Penmon meaning Penguinmon, you know? But the death definitely applies here as it has become a lot more evil and feral looking, almost resembling like a cryptid of some kind, and its profile says as such too. A perfect Digimon whose hidden feral instincts have been unleashed. It will immediately swoop down on Digimon that express their disgust towards it and keep smashing them until they stop breathing. Taming a rampaging Lemurmon is impossible unless one has built a great deal of trust with them. I think this hints pretty heavily that the very laid-back, cool Angoramon at some point in Digimon Ghost Game is going to go completely feral in a very Rio Cyberdramon way, and Ruli's going to be the only one that can calm him down. Potentially a really scary moment. It worked. People of the year 2021, I am a future Khan. I have come back in time from the year to try and stop the first Khan War. Listen to me. I need you to learn, to brush up, to get every skill you could possibly get under your belt. And to do that, you're going to need today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. In classes in various categories such as photography, film and video, animation, and much more. This month I've been taking the Video on a Budget Prepare for Your Shoot Without Breaking the Bank class by Christopher Rhodes. It's been really great to know that I don't have to spend a ton of money to try and up the professionalism and have a little bit more fun making these videos. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And Skillshare's entire catalogue of classes now offers subtitles in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Dutch. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. I really do hope you all enjoy Skillshare. I highly recommend it. They've been super supportive of the channel and are a great learning resource. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to past Khan. Moving over to Jellymon, her non-show champions are Dolphmon, Gessomon, and Mambomon. Her ultimates are Waymon, Divamon, and Marine Devimon, and her megas are Marine Angemon, Ancient Mermaimon, and Pukumon. Most of these Digimon showed up very recently once again in Digimon Adventure 2020, but with specifically Mambomon, Marine Devimon, and Marine Angemon being references to the episodes of Digimon Adventure 2020 where they visited Marine Angemon's underwater domain. Divamon appeared in other episodes of Digimon Adventure 2020, but I think it's more likely that Dolphmon, Gessomon, Divamon, and Waymon are references specifically to the original Digimon Adventure or the Pendulum version 20th. But again, a lot of these Digimon are used in a lot of stuff, so it's hard to say which specific reference it is. It could be Tamers for some of them, you know, it's that kind of situation where they're just kind of like monsters of the day a lot of the time. But Ancient Mermaimon, I believe, is a reference to the Unseen Rookies for Spirit Digimon, which I actually did a video for and chose Jellymon as the rookie form for the Spirit of Water. I'm not saying Bandai watches these videos because these evolutions were probably chosen way before I made that video, but one hell of a coincidence. Then her true champion is Tesla Jellymon, and her true ultimate is Thetismon. Tesla Jellymon's electricity theme obviously links to Nikola Tesla, one of the fathers of electricity, but her profile states she evolved by absorbing data from combat sports like cage death matches, which we pretty much literally saw in the episode, but also kind of evokes things like the UFC specifically, and the kind of fighting game FGC realm. Almost like she's also weirdly a reference to that one episode where the Tesla former CEO Elon Musk talked to the UFC commentator Joe Rogan. I mean, super unlikely, and I'm not bringing them up as like a big fan or anything. I know they're very divisive figures, but it's just a weird connection to make between Tesla and like combat sport, where I'm like, is that a fucking Joe Rogan reference? And then is Thetismon, which once again seems to lean in swiftly into the darkness again, like Lemurmon, apparently residing in the deepest trenches of the Net Ocean. Its etymology likely comes from Thetis, the Greek mythological figure who appears as a sea nymph and water goddess amongst other things, but may also reference a very similar sounding named character Tethys, the Titan goddess of the primal front of fresh water, which is also from Greek mythology. So that's all the evos and their etymologies explained, with some likely reasons why certain Digimon were included on these DIM cards. But you guys know me by now, I always like putting my tinfoil hat on, and I very quickly want to talk about some theories. Much like Gamamon, Angoramon and Jellymon's champions have a modified version of their rookie's name. So Beetle Gamamon, Kaus Gamamon, Vasion Gamamon, Gulus Gamamon, Simbare Angoramon, and Tesla Jellymon. But then the Ultimates drop this naming convention just like Kano Vicemon to become Lamormon and Tethismon. And also, just like Gamamon, their DIM cards do not contain unique original megas. I highly doubt that a brand new Digimon season is not going to give its 3 main partner Digimon new mega forms. If it was a situation like Cross Wars, for example, where there was an entirely new method of evolution, the rules and stages of Digivolution would be out on their arse, but because we know that champions and ultimates do exist, and theoretically megas on the DIM cards, there would be no reason for mega to not exist, because, I mean, it exists in the DIM card, right? I also find it interesting that Angoramon and Jellymon's ultimates almost feel as evil as Gulus Gamamon looks. Gulus Gamamon, of course, being the 4th champion form for Gamamon, which maybe it's like true champion form, but looks evil as hell. It makes me wonder if Gulus Gamamon has some influence on them in that regard, or that perhaps because we know Digimon like have never naturally evolved before Gamamon, and now Jellymon, that there is some like inherent darkness to evolution or something that they've just been accidentally keeping at bay, I don't know. But it could be that obtaining the mega level is a kind of purification that may involve Kano Vicemon, who ironically doesn't look evil, perhaps leading to different Jogress megas, so like Lamormon and Kano Vicemon, and Tethismon and Kano Vicemon, and then maybe all 3 of them for a Trifusion mega, I don't know. And I do think it's incredibly likely that later down the line we will be getting a brand new DIM card which in some way features all 3 and their mega forms. It's even possible, if there are no more Digimon in this season, that to keep merch sales going they might release 3 new DIM cards, one for Gamamon, one for Angoramon, one for Jellymon, but in the more kind of GP style where it's one through line. I don't know for certain. The limitations of the Digivice V and the VB mean you can only have 2 Digimon on at a time, so Trifusion would seem unlikely, but there could be some bullshit. We've had regular Digivolution into Jogress forms without requiring a Jogress partner before, so it could be possible that, say, the Lamormon and Kano Vicemon Jogress could evolve naturally on a DIM card, and then if you had the same DIM card in, Tethismon could I don't know, there's a lot of potential there that they could do, potentially. Potential. I mean, there's also the possibility we'll see Digimon like Leomon and Dolphmon as Evos in the show, but I wouldn't hold your breath. These feel very DIM exclusive, so that people don't complain about a lack of Digimon on their essentially IRL microtransactions. But I am willing to be proven wrong, and anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you like these new evolutions? Have you got any thoughts on potential etymology for things like Simbare and Angoramon, or any more information to give? I tried to explain as much as I could research, but obviously we're very limited, and if we don't see these Digimon for a few weeks or a few months, information is going to be sparse, but I have gathered everything I think I can find on them. But as always, let me know in the comments down below. There is always someone who knows more than me, and that is the beauty of these videos. I do love the community aspect and people throwing ideas back and forward and coming up with things that I would never have thought of. So let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you've gotten this far. Just a quick news video, so we're just going to end really quickly by thanking my sovereign, my wonderful sovereign ZDK14, and my brand new Dava NQG420, and everyone else who is supporting this channel. You are amazing. Thank you to all of you as well for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.